Yeah, Synthetic Beans roster we've already discussed from last round, but Reload coming in with a roster of Gold, Red, Sammy, and Timmy, all with a very notable focus on chip damage. We see immediately coming in with a very both sides coming in with we see Dread, Carbon Deco, Pen, and Gal on the side of Reload, and Synthetic Beans once again coming in with a very classic comp, although Saito is going to be switching over to that 52 Gal. Very defensive weapon, probably able to get getting some solid picks here as Eon immediately goes down to Mist.
Yeah, and we see another go down to the driver here. The driver is able to get Reload in a push, and that's going to be a wipeout. Immediately, we have those two fights won. We have a lot of claims tossed already, getting the score down to 60 even further, with Reload scoring constantly, really able to hold that court. iMist is able to really hold that top left. We have a Gal 1v1 with Saito actually winning. Two are going down to Reload. Gold jumps out and it is just the Carbon. So this might be a mid switch over. The Carbon does get splatted here, and is going to be a mid switch. And now we see Synthetic Beans have their flag.
Yeah, this is going to be a good, solid time for Synthetic Beans to finally be able to get a push in. Unfortunately, immediately gonna have to drop out of the block here. We see a double from the Reef Slider, leaving Mist all alone, unfortunately, as Synthetic Beans is gonna probably be able to maintain control here over the side of Reload. Reload, however, is coming back in, able to find a lot of picks here. Fortunately, their Carbon is going to be going down, but we're back into a more neutral state. Immediately as I say that, Synthetic Beans just puts a sock in my mouth, and immediately we're back. They are back in control.
Yeah, we really love that commentator's curse. We see Saito does get a trade off with the other 52. It's a 3v3. Synthetic Beans is really trying to hold that flat. Unfortunately, the Carbon is going to get a pick on Tri-Slosher, but then goes down as they got a little bit greedy here. The slider not doing too much as there is that block there. We love terrain blocking one singular special's ability. That slider shouldn't have hit. I disagree with that. We see two go down. Synthetic Beans still able to hold this, but the 52 down on the side of Reload does attempt to get behind. It is once again a 3v3.
Yeah, Synthetic Beans still maintain control, but haven't been able to find a push. They've definitely been able to get close to being able to push, but there's so many members currently grouped up. See Azuka coming out. Unfortunately, he's gonna get taken out again. Synthetic Beans keep trying to go. They keep being able to push up, back and forth. They have that quad now. Probably going to finally be able to get that clam in. We see Synthetic Beans finally starting to make a dent and hopefully be able to at least be able to control this for enough time to get lead back. They do have another power clam here if they can get that jump in. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I spoke too soon. They were not able to get that jump in. Unfortunately, Eon having to jump out here, and Reload is going to be able to get back control here, reset the game back to mid.
Yeah, and I mean that push was a little scary for Reload. I mean, another power clam and a little bit of change, and Synthetic Beans can in fact get the lead. But we do see that the Gal missed the power clam onto the basket. Is able to redeem themselves, however, get that in and get the pick. Unfortunately, going down to Eon's Tri-Slosher, who does also get Timmy. Does not see, they do get the Carbon actually. Synthetic Beans does stop this push. 1 minute left on the clock. And both teams, honestly, don't really have that many penalty points for as much as they scored.
Yeah, honestly, Reload's push there didn't really give them a whole lot of points anyway. If anything, they've just given Synthetic Beans another power that they can use with. However, with multiple Reef Sliders coming in, Sandwich able to find a double here, able to able to push back Synthetic Beans, unable to push back in. I mean, Synthetic Beans have been able to make some solid pushes here. We might be able to see them make a comeback here, but with only 18 seconds in the game left, they're going to have to use that overtime if they want to try and if they want to try and take back. If they can even be able to find that opportunity to push back in.
Yeah, we did see a couple of them try to have the hold forward mentality like they did against the set with Malibu, but unfortunately it didn't exactly work as they were able to get punished. We go into overtime here now. Ono is holding onto that power clamp. If they can get the push in, unfortunately, Matt does not get the reef slider under the basket, but Saito does get the jump in under the basket with the wall. We do see more scoring in the overtime. I believe that is 3 more clams in order to get. We see a double from Matt and the reef slider, unfortunately going down to Timmy, and that is going to be win on game 1 for Reload.
Yeah, that is going to be game 1 here for Reload. That was a very, very close finale there.
Definitely, for sure. I mean, there was so much back and forth. We saw that Matt did try to slide under the basket to get that power to jump in. You know, Kraken cheese might be gone. Slider cheese in not zones is unfortunately there. But unfortunately did die to the startup, but Saito did manage to get in and throw a wall so perfectly that Reload just was completely unable to hit them. So they got the jump in perfectly. That was such a close game.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing this next tower control game. If it ends up being as close as the last Clambless game was, as we're moving into TC Hagglefish. I feel like another like very solid one that just kind of gets played for being able to be played as well.
Yeah, it again falls into the Inkbot thing of it's playable, people enjoy it. It is also played on zones. I don't think you have zones Haggle in this tourney, which is interesting. Interesting choice. But this is a very good map. I mean, especially for Synthetic, actually both teams, because they both have buckets. Because if you just camp with bucket on that, on defense on that top left tent, you kind of can just completely deny the enemy's pushes. And especially in the case of, actually, again, both sides with Reef Slider, that is a very, very good slider spot. I've seen a team win grands in a LAN off of being able to stop a push just through Reef Slider on that top left on Haggle.
Anything, I think, to break out of that mentality that Reef Slider is a bad special. It's certainly not the greatest special, but it has a lot more use cases than I think a lot of people give it credit for. As we are getting into our next game here, as we able to see some concept. We see a roller with that bubble coming in as a for the side of Reload. That's going to be very helpful here for breaking a lot of those checkpoints. Honestly, I'm interested in seeing just how many more opportunities, especially since it has a lot more opportunities to get back with that curling bomb. Able to find some very long-range paint here. Both teams currently just in a very, very neutral spot right now. Just looking for any opportunity to get a push going.
Yeah, we see Timmy attempt to get a push here with the Reef Slider, able to scatter a little bit of Synthetic Beans, but unfortunately going down. It is just going to be Sandwich on the roller, able to get a trade off here. Synthetic Beans is going to be able to push off of that delayed wipe here, with allowing all of their teammates to get in. Gold does get a pick off of the tower here. There's a little bit of a key switch, not too much, so Reload isn't in, a scary situation. You see a slider come out. The wall does not exactly block the slider. It does get a pick off of the gal. We do see a little bit of a shark here. Obviously not in the open. Cooler is very good at breaking those sharks.
Yeah, and both teams currently still have not been able to break the first check here. We're about to see if Synthetic Beans might be able to make that change. Unfortunately, without 2 members of going down and having to back away from that tower, unfortunately, it does not look like we are to see the first checkpoint be broken. This has been a very, very back and forth in mid match so far. Neither team being able to push past 80. Matt here, unfortunately, is going to go down. Unfortunately, not able to get that double here, but the Gal is going to go down. Either way, is Reload finally able to make that push, starting to make that push now. Probably being able to break that second checkpoint, being able to get the lead as well. As we see two members coming in with that reslider as well, getting a double to find the wipeout and being able to not only break the first checkpoint, but quickly on their way to that second.
Yeah, and that reslider double is really crucial for Reload. We see Matt attempt to do the same thing, unfortunately not doing much and going down here. Sandwich able to get the jump out, and we do see that, Reload got it all the way down to 40. That is a really good push, especially for, only halfway through the game. Synthetic Beans is trying to recover through mid here. Unfortunately, it is going to be that guy on the left side getting one. The Decider going to weaken Matt on the left side and forcing a basically delayed wipe at this point. Reload is already going to be back on that right side for Synthetic Beans. You see a whale coming out, just so much chip, so much pressure on Synthetic Beans.
Yeah, Reload coming back in on that second checkpoint, looking to finally be able to break it, is able to do so on their way to the third. Another Reef Slider coming out, unable to find a pick, but the Dread is able to find a pick onto the other Slosher. Saito here trying to fight and be able to protect the tower, fortunately just unable to hit Reload off the tower. Reload is going to have to back up anyway, leaving them at 2 points. Synthetic Beans is going to have to make a massive pushback at this point, or at the very least swiftly change momentum into their favor if they want to be able to get close to that score and be able to take the lead back.
Absolutely. We do see that Synthetic Beans might not have been fast enough. We already see Reload trying to take control of mid once again. Eon's going down on the left side. We have mid completely is all green right now. Synthetic Beans is quite literally basically backed up into a corner. We see the counter slider come out. We always love a good counter slider, which is going to have Matt come down. Fortunately, two are going to go down on the side of Reload, allowing Synthetic Beans to hold a bit of space here. But now everyone's back on both sides. So it is once again a tussle of who can really get it.
Yeah, Synthetic Beans has been taking some fights here. Whereas able to at least touch the tower, even if not being able to continue at that push. We got about 30 seconds left in this game. A Reslider coming in. He's able to take out 2. And we can see a third down on the side of Reload. This might be this might be the push of what Synthetic Beans needs in order to try and attempt to get the lead here. They just need to be able to maintain as much as they can. They do have a second cooler for when that other cooler eventually goes down, but as we are finally beginning to open into our overtime here, we are seeing another Reslider come out to try and get the tower. It looks like, however, Reload is going to be able to stop any push that Synthetic Beans might have been able to make, and is going to be taking game 2 here.
Yeah, that was, I can't lie, I have been in that situation of popping slider too early there. I thought that was it. Not it, but that was a little scary for Reload. Luckily, it did push Synthetic Beans off the tower, which did allow the rest of the team to get in and be able to pinch and get that tower before it could get too far. Really good on both sides. Again, just the back and forth and the Reload's constant ability to hold pressure, give chip for each other. It's just so good.
Yeah, once again, I feel like another very close game towards the start, but then Reload was just able to make such a massive dent in their point total, almost nearly knocking out. So I guess we're about to see if they can do the same here on our next map, Rainmaker Urchin Underpass.
So I know I said I was fine with niche map picks. This is one of them where I'm like, okay, what are we doing though? You know?
Okay, listen. It's very hard to defend this map. I don't even personally defend it even, but I do think it allows for a very interesting Rainmaker map here, especially with the very complicated path that the Rainmaker has to go. You have to kind of turn right and then immediately take a hard left, and then you gotta back up. You gotta go all sorts of directions if you want to be able to push the Rainmaker in order to get to. Oh gosh, remembering where the pedestal is it's very fascinating to see this map here, especially with how different mid is. Mid is compared to every other version of Urchin Underpass, except for maybe Tower. It is a very interesting mid with the ramps going into up into the large kind of. It's basically just one big one big pyramid, if anything. Finally, are able to get into this game here to see what weapons each team brings.
Yeah, and we're gonna actually see an interesting pick from Reload, and honestly both sides. You know, we actually see that Vanilla Blaster we were talking about earlier in the previous set, but also we have a switch to the Tri-Slosh Revo, so there's that mirror, but now Gold is on the Vanilla Splatter Scope, and we see all that charge up for obviously everyone's favorite special in this current meta, Inkvac, for that ever so lovable grade that is such a pain to push on this map. As you see, the Carbon is going to get an early pick on that. That's going to actually be 3 down. Maybe Synthetic Beans got a little too greedy there, because that was going to be a 30-second checkpoint for Reload, and going to be another down. If they can pop the back here, which they do actually have, this right here could be all that Reload pushes. And actually, Reload is going to go beyond, and is going to get all the way down to an instant knockout on Urchin Underpass Rainmaker, thanks to the Inkvac and everyone on the Reload able to play off of each other. What a fast game.
Well, yeah, sure. Okay, I guess that's the game over.
That is so... Wow. I mean, Inkvac is great for... I like to call it jail because it reminds me of Gobi. Is great for pushing it through jail, but wow, I did not expect it to reach that far.
Yeah, I'm honestly, like, it's kind of just how Inkvac plays, especially on I feel like a very niche map already for Rainmaker. It's so, if you have all of your players that you need to fall into the pit in order to get the Rainmaker, it takes a while to get back up. So if you just miss, then you're probably not going to be able to stop them at that point. But that push after the checkpoint was so blinding fast. I had to take a minute to just think, oh, are they just going to knock out here? Is that going to be it?
Yeah, I was like, all right, I'm going to stop. No, they're still pushing. No, they're stopping. No, they're still pushing. Like, it's just so... Rainmaker is a mode in the video game. That's what I like to say.
Yeah, I guess that's fair here. There's not much, unfortunately, that can be said or done. But Reload is going to be taking round 2